Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I am that dude, Bodkins.
If DP lost like, beef. Yeah.
Right. Where he's wondering he's like, I
Patty to patty.
One style, like no weight classes.
Yeah, basically, like I said, there's been a couple guys that are like,
it's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy.
That's just not my mentality, bro. Like,
yeah. Leave the ladder down. That's my always like, hey, somebody helped you out. Why not help somebody else out? Return.
Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkins Show.
Or bringing Craig Counsell down the interstate in a move unexpected. I had people.
I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great Bodkins Show, the weekly dump, baby. You know what it is. This is you wake up with us every Sunday morning. You got to get some shit off your chest. We go through it all the things that's happened in the world through the past week. One of the things that happened this week is the NBA kicked off, and night one, the Celtics took it to the Knicks. And can we stop already? People are like, I thought the Knicks were supposed to be good. They're getting their ass kicked by the Boston Celtics. Blah, 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 blah. It's one fucking game. It's one fucking game of 82. The least amount of games that matter is that fucking game. It's game one of 82. That game don't fucking matter. And it was fucking ring night, first of all. You know what I mean? Like, the Celtics are obviously going to show out. They're getting their ring. It's going to take some time for the Knicks. It's going to take whatever NBA team it is. Like, it's one fucking game of 82. It's October. These games don't even fucking matter. To me, I always say the NBA season don't start till Christmas because that's when it matters. Like, it don't even really matter until really after the All-Star break. If you want to be real honest. But you got people, I thought they was going to be blah, 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 blah. Oh, nobody can fuck with Boston because we just ate through the fucking Knicks. It's one fucking game. It's one game. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Nobody, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the game that doesn't matter. The absolute least of the season is game one. Nobody's going to circle back and be like, hey, remember we was winning the championship after we won the first game. You could lose 9 out of your next 10, and it probably still won't fucking matter at that fucking point. It's a long season. It's 82 games. I don't even think they should be playing right now. And you guys are anointed champions or this team sucks. Shut up. Shut up. It's dumb. I hate it. I hate the over-exaggeration of people. It's one game, especially if 82. It'd be different if it was game one of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Then you got something to say. This could be a quick series. We just dominated them. Nobody cares it's game one of 82. Nobody. Hate it. It's dumb. Stop it. We're starting off hot. One thing that's been hot, if you haven't watched the NBA, the World Series, game one was incredible. The drama. I picked the Yankees mainly because of Anthony Rizzo. I love Riz. Everybody knows that. Former Cub, but then Freddie Freeman jacks one out of the park, a walk-off home run. And I was literally thinking, so before the game, they had somebody was going to donate it, like a MasterCard or somebody's like, there's a walk-off. They're going to donate $500,000 to, charity or whatever. I was like, a walk-off? That's cheap. Like, how many chances is there going to be a walk-off in this World Series? Well, sure enough, there was a walk-off on game one, so I'm an idiot. A guy who wasn't happy about that walk-off home run, not happy about last night, is none other than Mr. Yankee fan, Johnny Cruz. Johnny, good morning. What's up, my man?
Good morning, bro. Happy, obviously, to be here doing another weekly dump. I'm going to jump right on it since you're talking about it now, the World Series, game one. So analytics are something that I have just like I don't like to use the word hate, but I hate the way analytics have taken over baseball. We talked about it on Thursday on the LTS show that I thought the slight advantage was to the starters for the Yankees, especially Garrett Cole, and that he might have to pull a Madison Bumgarner, saying, type of situation where he's gonna have to win his 2 starts and might have to come in relief in another game or two to really nail it down. But no, Aaron Boone and his freaking analytics takes out Garrett Cole after 6 innings, only throwing 88 pitches, and was held them down to basically the couple hits and that 1 run that they scored. And he said that he took them out because that's the plan that they had. So your plan was shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you have an ace, a true number 1 starter, you ride him all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take him out until like he's getting beat on. You know what I'm saying? And he was holding that Dodger team down. You take him out, and not only do you take him out, 1 run. You expose your best 3 relievers, and then to top that all off, Jazz Chisholm does a good job in the top of the 10th to basically create a run on his own by stealing second and third. You take the 3-2 lead, and then you bring in Nestor Cortez, who hasn't pitched in over a month, who's a starting pitcher. He's not even a relief pitcher. And you don't bring in your lefty reliever who's been pretty dominant this entire postseason. You bring in Nestor Cortez, who immediately gives up on the first pitch, the grand slam to Freddie Freeman. So this was a totally blown game on Aaron Boone. I put it on Aaron Boone. Fuck Aaron Boone and his stupid ass analytics. Analytics is one of the worst things to ever happen to baseball because they don't go with the feel of the game. Again, your starter, your ace, your horse is dominating. Just leave him the fuck alone. Just let him keep pitching. But no, the plan was to take him out. The strategy was to take him out. And he said he felt that he didn't have nothing left. What are you talking about? His last 2 pitches was 98 and 99 miles an hour. But he didn't have nothing left. Like I'm never gonna understand that. That was a heartbreaker because you had an opportunity to take the first game on the road to the World Series. Instead, you give up that massive walk-off grand slam, and of course the Dodgers are partying like they just won the World Series right after that. But they have all the momentum, and they continued it into Game 2. And the other part of this dump on this whole Yankee shit, because like I want to take a dump on the whole Yankee roster right now because it's got me so frustrated. But our captain, our best player, our MVP is doing absolutely shit right now. Aaron Judge cannot come through at all in big situations in the postseason. I don't care about 62 home runs during the regular. This is where I'm going to sound like the typical Yankee. I don't care about 62 home runs during the regular season or 54 home runs during the regular season if you're going to hit $1.80 in the postseason with the majority of your outs being strikeouts. So he has completely not shown up. But that game 1 loss was just heartbreaking because you had every opportunity to steal that game, and because of the analytics, you pull your best pitcher out after 88 pitches when he was cooking. So we'll see what happens. They go back to New York for 3 in New York. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, in 96 we lost the first 2 games to Atlanta and then won 4 in a row. This ain't the 96 squad, yo. Like, stop that shit. This ain't the 96 squad. Mariano Rivera ain't walking through that door. Yeah, they're not walking through that door. Juan Soto has shown up, of course, because he's just that good, a generational talent. Stanton has been playing well. The other thing in that game, too, is for all the Yankee fans who have been saying, oh, well, we got to sign Gleyber Torres because he's been hitting well. That play on Ohtani where he hit the double, you got to make sure that ball doesn't get past you at second base. You can't lackadaisically just try to reach and grab the ball, and then you give it squirts away from you, and then he gets third base. Like that's have to
game 2 or game
in game 1.
Game 1
to tie the game. You know what I'm saying? Ohtani hit that double in the 8th, and Gleyber Torres just kind of reaches for it, like if he was gonna make a play, like he already had second base, bro. Just stop the ball so that he can't advance to third. Instead, you kind of reach for it like a lazy ass, which is something that he does because he has no baseball IQ. He just reaches for it. It squirts away. Ohtani with high baseball IQ takes third, and then boom, sacrifice fly. The game is tied. So just bad baseball. It is what it is. They're down 2-0. We'll see what they can do in New York. But yeah, these dumps are necessary, bro, for real. Like I had to get that shit out. So I'm glad that was the first one to just get out of my system, man. We'll see what happens, but I have no confidence in them right now, but we'll see.
Real quick on Aaron Judge. So he struck out for the this Jeff Passan tweeted this out. So I don't know what the stat line is currently, but this was last night's game. He struck out for the second time. He's 1 for 8 with 5 strikeouts in the World Series. This postseason, he's only 6 for 39. He's slashing buck 154, 286, and 333 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs in 11 games.
Right. That's trash, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, for an MVP,
are you
for somebody who they want to say is one of the top 2 or 3 players in the game, like you have to be better than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and he's left so many guys on base, including in that game. You know what I'm saying? You had bases loaded, and he immediately pops up in the infield. You know what I'm saying? So he has to come through, man. It's been sad because he's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, a good face of the franchise or whatever, but that you need that clutch gene, bro. You need to be able to come through in October, and he hasn't done it. He's had okay series, but if you look at his overall numbers, total his postseason numbers, they're not good, man. They're not good at all. So we'll see what happens. Again, there's still a lot of baseball left, but they obviously need to win Game 3 in New York. But it's gonna be a big one.
To me, like I know they keep saying like the Dodgers are going to have to throw a bullpen game, right? I throw my best pitcher Game 3, and hopefully I can cut the head off, right here, like hold them down and get up 3-0, and then you can do the bullpen Game 4. But like if I'm the Dodgers, man, like Game 3 is just like it's like, hey, can we?
Yeah, you got to go for the kill. You got to go for the kill.
Yeah. Can we go up 3-0 if we drop Game 4?
Right.
Okay, so be it, but you know what I mean? Like we can, we'll put in a bigger hole in. Now the Dodgers, real quick, I want to go back to Game 1. So are you upset that they took out Cole and brought in Weaver in the 8th?
No. Well, no, they took out Cole after 6 innings, so he didn't even come out in the 7th. So
Weaver gave up the home runs in the 9 to tie the game to get it to extras because I like to call him Mike Stanton when he plays well. Because Mike Giancarlo isn't very good at baseball, but Mike Stanton was great at baseball, and he's back. So I always like to call him Mike Stanton. The return of Mike Stanton happened in Game 1, and it really has kind of happened all postseason for the Yankees. Outside of he and Soto been carrying that team,
right?
But what? So was it the analytics to you that led to the decision for the 10th inning? With Freeman, because I'm not a Yankee fan, so to me, like that's one thing about like when you're not a fan of either team, so you don't really know who the top of the relievers are or this and that. So like I'm watching the game, it's just like, they're bringing in a guy, you know what I mean, that they feel like they can get out. Like I don't know.
No, that was a horrible decision to bring in Nestor Cortez again, a starting pitcher who hasn't pitched since the middle of September. Because he had elbow issues.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why the fuck he's on the postseason roster, but I thought they put him on the roster in case of a situation where somebody got hurt or
you had to go long innings.
Right. If it's a blowout early in the game and you need somebody to give you some innings, not to bring him in a situation where the game is on the line. And again, your lefty reliever, Tim Hill, has been dominant this postseason. You know what I'm saying? So you bring in Nestor Cortez because I just felt good. He looked good in the bullpen. The fuck? That don't mean shit. He looked good in the bullpen. You know what I'm saying? You go with who brought you there, and it should have been Tim Hill in that situation. But I still go back again to I leave Garrett Cole in the game. Even if he gets you through the 7th inning, then you can bring in Weaver, who's your closer, to pitch 2 innings if you want to go that way. You know what I'm saying? But it was
Weaver did come in the 8th and 9th and then tied the game. They tied the game, right?
No, it wasn't Weaver. It was Clay Holmes, or it was
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Weaver pitched a clean inning. You know what I'm saying? And then he did.
I thought he gave it up in the 8th.
Right. Yeah. It was in the 8th. He pitched a clean 9th, and he's pitched multiple innings plenty of times, and then you don't bring him out for the 10th. You know what I'm saying? Like, just everything was just asked back. Like, every decision that Aaron Boone made in that game 1 was the wrong decision. You know what I'm saying? I know people are going to say, oh, well, it's the wrong decision because it didn't work out. Yeah, it didn't work out because they were the wrong fucking decisions. You know what I'm saying? You don't take out your ace starting pitcher after 88 pitches, and then you don't put in a starting pitcher who hasn't pitched since September to come in relief in a situation like that when you have a lefty reliever who his ground ball rate, I think, is close to 70%. You know what I'm saying? So, and has been dominant this entire postseason. So, like, I don't understand the thinking there at all by Aaron Boone, and that cost us game 1. And now, like I said, we'll see what happens.
So we're going to be real sports media here real quick, and I'm going to ask you, who do you blame more right now for the 0-2? The 0-2, is it Aaron Boone and his decision making, or is it Aaron Judge for going 1 for? He has 1 hit in 2 games in this. The guy that you're paying all this money, and your captain, the guy that's going to be AL MVP, or who's to more to blame?
I mean, that's a good question.
Morning,
I mean, a lot of it. What's going on, Bo? Morning to Alan too. Thank you for showing the 0 for 9, because that's exactly it too. I mean, you gotta ultimately put the stuff on the players because they're the ones playing. They got to come through. However, as a manager, coach, whatever, like, you have to put your players in the best position to be successful, and I think he absolutely took that away. He took Garrett Cole out the game, which took away an opportunity for him to be successful, and then you put Nestor Cortez in a situation that there was no way for him to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, he hasn't pitched since September with elbow issues, and you're bringing him in the 10th inning of a tie game. You know what I'm saying, to try to hold a lead like that. That was just Aaron Boone is the reason why we are in this 0-2 hole. Aaron Judge hasn't helped. But Aaron Boone and his decision making is why we are in this 0-2 hole right now, in my opinion. So I would give more of the blame to Aaron Boone.
Yeah, real quick, and then we'll get to. I want to get some side of the Dodgers here. Aaron Boone is constantly cost his team important games because of incompetent decisions. Everything should favor the Yankees, but the one spot that's killed them is the important one, the manager. So, and Dodger fans have had a lot of gripes with Dave Roberts at times too. So,
because they're a highly analytical team as well. Yeah. However, they have players with a much higher baseball IQ. Mookie Betts is one of the best players. Ohtani, I mentioned him taking 3rd on that double because of the bad baseball IQ and the laziness of Gleyber Torres. Instead of making sure to stop that ball when Soto threw it in from the outfield to make sure he stays at second, he kind of just like lunged for the ball. No, you got to stop that ball and make sure he stays at second. That's the tying run. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's just, again, but Aaron Boone has just been like his decision again. Like, I ride Garrett Cole all the way, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if he has to throw 130 pitches.
Because it's game 1 and he knows he's gonna need his horse.
Yeah, no, but you gotta fucking win every game. You can't be looking ahead.
I get it.
That's part of the problem with this whole analytics. Like I said, he said, "Oh, it was part of the plan." Well, your fucking plan can't be thinking about game 2, 3, or 4, motherfucker. Win game 1. How about you win the first game and then you go from there?
Because there may not be a game 5. There may not be a game.
Exactly. And then you showed your 4 best relievers in that game 1. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually, 3 out of your 4 best relievers, because your best lefty reliever, you didn't even put him into the game. You decided to go with Nestor Cortez. So that was just complete.
See you later night. Like, I mean, he knew that ball was gone as soon as he.
Right. And then bases loaded, homeboy's limping. And
it was 3 out. It wasn't a great. Oh, was a grand slam. It was
a grand slam. Bases because they walked Mookie Betts. They walked Mookie Betts intentionally. And again, you know what I'm saying. And if you watched last night, Tim Hill got Ohtani and Freeman out with no problem. Why? Because he's a lefty fucking specialist. So he gets lefties out, and he's a ground ball pitcher. but you chose to go with Nestor Cortez. So they walk Mookie Betts to get to Freeman to load the bases, and you throw him a fastball right down the fucking plate, bro. Like, come on, bro. And he said that he was hunting that. He was hoping for that first pitch fastball. He was going to swing no matter what. And there you go. So it was just a bunch of bad decisions. All started with Aaron Boone. It was just horrible.
And for the Dodgers, like right now, you got to be worried too, because now Shohei Ohtani is out. Well, I don't know if he's out, but he's got the shoulder issue. Came out last night. So like, man, like
it'll be interesting to see.
Hope, like, for this series, I know you're a Yankee fan, so like, but you want to see that kid play no matter what. Like,
absolutely,
bro.
Absolutely.
You don't want to see him.
Because God forbid he's out the rest of the series and we come back and win. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh well, that's because Ohtani got hurt." Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, and I never wish injury on everybody. You want to play against the best players. It's been fun watching him play. You know what I'm saying. So I hope he's okay. But yeah, I think if he's kind of iffy, it'd probably be, they have the benefit now of being up 2-0 to maybe sit him game 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I like I said, I think game 3 it's to me is like, I'm almost like, I don't want no life to be brought into New York. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I hear you.
I'm trying to win as much as I can now. They haven't really ruled him out for game 3.
Right.
No, they'll obviously fly to New York today and play tomorrow. But
yeah, I'm just saying if there's any type of like it's he needs some rest to feel better, or say any type of possibility of him making it worse. You're saying because you don't want to play him in game 3 and then he aggravates and then he's out the rest of the series.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Okay. So if it's a situation like that, then I would be cautious with him if I'm the Dodgers. But if it's just he just has to deal with the pain and it's not going to get any worse, then I go for the kill, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the way the Dodgers got to be thinking about it, because that's one thing about New York and Yankee Stadium is if they win the game 3, the game's gonna be electric regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because Yankee fans are gonna pack it to try to have their teams back. But if the Dodgers have an opportunity to go for the kill in game 3, they absolutely need to take it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. One team that did go for the kill, so one Yankee team, one New York team down 0-2. One New York team did win their championship. The New York Liberty that game went into overtime. Mm-hmm. Game 5, they pull it out. I mean, it was a tough game with Minnesota, but they win. Great series. WNBA's got all this hype, and then Johnny, then the girls are opting out of their CBA, and maybe rightfully so, because they know the money's coming in, but they're like, there's going to be a work stoppage. And we've talked about all the dumb things that the WNBA have done. I get the players like, hey, we know that there's a lot of money coming in and we need a bigger piece of the pie, but what they can't afford is a work stoppage, because you had all this momentum from the last year. This is the height. And then if you work stoppage, it's automatically going to kill all the momentum that you had, that you built up from this past year. And it's just going to go away.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and that's the other part. Like you said, we've discussed this. Throughout the whole season is every opportunity that they had to get a leg up, they've shit on it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of riding the Caitlin Clark wave and embracing her or whatever, because just imagine how much more viewership would have been and how much more, fan interaction and stuff would have been had they embraced this girl instead of shitting on her, especially if you know that you're going into a CBA situation. You know what I'm saying? So they should have embraced that a little bit more, to be quite honest. But I understand wanting a bigger piece of the pie, but your league hasn't been making money. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna opt out of the CBA, trying to ride this whole thing. I don't know what's gonna happen, but no, they definitely can't afford a work stoppage. Then you got this unrivaled 3-on-3 team. I mean, people barely want to watch you play 5-on-5. You think they're gonna want to watch you play 3-on-3, especially if Caitlin Clark ain't there. You know what I'm saying? And then now there's reports that they're gonna throw this big ass bag at Caitlin Clark. That's just gonna make everybody else hate her even more. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of hope she doesn't play in it. I hope they figure it
I
out. You know what I'm
she's not
saying?
playing in anything in the offseason. Just got
Yeah, no, she's enjoying her time off, and she's still, you know what I'm saying, she's still in that lab trying to get better. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I think the players are gonna wind up, they can't afford to sit out a whole season, so they're gonna wind up having to cave. So the league will probably give them a higher percentage or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're in a place of strength to be trying to negotiate that much of a higher percentage. Like they want it to be like the NBA where it's 50-50. No, you're not the NBA. Like
yeah.
it just isn't that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but should they get a bump in pay? Should charter flights be permanent? Yes, because charter flights isn't like, it's not in writing. Like they did it this season because of Caitlin Clark and whatever. Like they should make sure that that's gonna be, you know, going forward, a permanent thing.
Yeah, that shouldn't be on my side in the whole WNBA coming.
Right,
You know what
I'm saying? You know,
like, we all should be fine
health benefits is another thing that they've been discussing or whatever. So I understand that or whatever, but for the majority of these women, it's about higher salaries. Well, you know, again, I enjoy the WNBA. There's some really good players there, but it's also, some of it is a lot of unwatchable basketball, to be quite honest. You know what I'm saying? A lot of missed layups, you know what I'm saying, air ball, stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Give the people a better product and more people will come and watch it. I'm not going to say the shit like Shaq says about lowering the rim or whatever. I don't think it's about that. I think it's just about better play. You know what I'm saying? Period. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to the New York Liberty winning that championship. I know there was a lot of controversy. Of course, Cheryl Reeves, the coach from Minnesota, is going to come out talk about that they stole this shit. Well, you know what? As far as foul calls, I didn't see you bitching in Game 4 when you had the majority of the foul calls at home, and the New York Liberty didn't get any foul calls.
Yeah.
So that's just the way basketball is, unfortunately, which is one of my gripes about basketball, is the referees having too much power and say in what happens in the game.
We've said all year the WNBA refs might be one of the worst refs.
Yeah, it's been absolutely atrocious. So were there a couple missed calls there, but that last play on Stewie was a foul. I mean, there was body contact there. Was it an egregious foul? No, but it's still a foul. And again, it's no worse than in Game 4 when they called the foul at the last second to give the girl the free throws to win the game for Minnesota. That was less of a foul than what was called against Stewie. So again, you can try to shit on the Liberty and their title, but they got their chip. Congratulations to the New York Liberty. I'm happy for Sabrina and Stewie and all them. So one New York team got it done. We'll see what happens with the Yankees. But hey, my Canes won last night, so I'm feeling all right.
Yeah, speaking of your Canes, that's they win 36-14. Oregon rolls over Illinois 38-9 yesterday. Ole Miss 26-14. Like, not a lot of upsets. Notre Dame unfortunately smacks Navy from the unbeatens. Like I was kind of hoping. Bama bounce back win against Missouri 34-0. Now Missouri was playing with their backup quarterback for the most of that game. Ohio State beats Nebraska. No real upsets until you get to the A&M LSU. A&M at home beats LSU 38-23. Shout out my guy Carlos from Just Fans. He was at the game and covering it as well.
Nice.
So
nice.
A&M wins. It's kind of that big, like, you know, as far as ranked teams that'll knock LSU to 2 losses now. Out there on that teetering part of maybe they get in, maybe they don't get in, but A&M now is entering the discussion of possible playoffs and being right there at 7-1 in the SEC. So like that was a game like both teams had to have it. And now you know how it'll be. Should they fire Kelly from LSU because he's got 2 losses and going to miss the playoff? You know, that's just the overreaction of the SEC. Any takeaways from yesterday's like college football, Johnny?
Not so much. I'm with you on that. The Navy, Notre Dame, you know what I'm saying? It was a great story. Navy being undefeated. But I mean, you kind of expected that. Alabama, beating up on Missouri, but like you mentioned, no starting quarterback. Texas, you know what I'm saying? Welcome to the SEC, man. They had a scare by number 25 Vanderbilt.
I mean, but
You know what I'm
Vandy's
saying?
been pretty good. Like, this ain't your daddy's
Yeah.
Vandy, right? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's an interesting one there. You mentioned the Texas A&M. That was huge. You know, Texas A&M was at home, but that was huge there to stay with just the one loss and to keep them in contention to play for the SEC title. Besides that, there was nothing major. You know what I'm saying? Kansas State, you know, over Kansas by a couple. It's all right. SMU finding a way to beat Duke in overtime was an interesting one for for ACC fans and for Miami Hurricane fans who wanted Duke to win that game because that's the one gripe now because the goalpost always moves on Miami. The one gripe now is that they're not playing anybody. You know what I'm saying? So had Duke beaten an undefeated SMU team yesterday, that would have been a good look for
So does
for us.
SMU, I'm looking at SMU. They got Pitt next week. That's a big one.
That's a big one because Pitt is playing very well.
They're 7-0 as well.
Yeah, yeah.
SMU 7-1. Like with their who's their lone loss to? I'm looking. BYU. BYU is their own loss. They lost by 3. So like
Right.
the winner that, and then you got Clemson's right there as well for
Mhm.
in that ACC as well. So like it'll be interesting. I'm trying to see who your Canes got left on their schedule.
I think they got Duke.
They got Duke, Georgia Tech. So they got an easy way the rest of the way to kind of remain undefeated here on their way out.
Right. Yeah. So I mean,
championship game, so that'll be interesting.
Right. And again, that's what I try to tell saying Hurricanes fans, because of course Hurricane fans are, they wanted blood from Florida State. They wanted the 67 to 3 type beatdown.
36-14 is a pretty good size beatdown.
Yeah, they controlled the game from jump. At no point in time in that game did you think Florida State was going to win that game. So they were comfortable with it. They played a smart game. Didn't take any chances. Florida State, one of the best part of Florida State is their secondary. You know what I'm saying? So they play deep. They play good coverage. So we ran the ball. You know what I'm saying? So Cam Moore didn't have all those crazy stats like he had been having, but the coaching staff actually played a smart game. They want to play deep and play good coverage. We're just going to pound the rock. And I think they ran for over 200 yards. So, you know what I'm saying? 36-14, I'll take it against a Florida State team that came ready to play. You know what I'm saying? This was basically their Super Bowl because their season is hot garbage. I think they're 1-7 now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing that people are saying is, Miami has an easy road. It is what it is. Win the games, the teams that beat the teams that are in front of you. So you mentioned Duke and Georgia Tech, and then it's probably going to be Clemson for the ACC title unless Clemson falls. I think Clemson might be playing either Pitt or one of them coming up. I'm not sure. But you're saying Miami just keep on winning your games. If they win the ACC title against Clemson or an undefeated Pitt or whoever, you know what I'm saying, they'll be in the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens in the playoff. But for being the third year under Mario Cristobal, he's building the program the way he said he wanted to build it. So I'm excited not only for what's going on right now, but
they didn't fire him after last year. You know what I mean?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job with his recruiting and in the transfer portal or whatever. And there was something like, I think 50-something recruits or something were in attendance last night to watch that game. So, you know what I'm saying? That's a game. That's what you got to do. That's how you build your program, especially in this NIL, time. So, good job by the Hurricanes. They just got to keep on winning. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be interesting what happens with all these SEC teams because you know how the SEC gets so much love. So all those teams that have one win,
I was looking.
Does a 2-loss team sneak in there at the number 12 spot? You know what I'm saying?
I was just peeking at it. So you mentioned Texas, who's 5 after coming off that loss of Georgia, won yesterday. Now they have Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky. Now Kentucky, like they're 3-5, but they play everybody tough. But the last game on the schedule is Texas A&M. They're both 7-1. Like that's you know what I mean. Like when you have one loss now, like it's at Texas A&M, who we just mentioned beat LSU.
That could be.
let us know if A&M's got that a route to the title here, a route to the playoffs. I'm looking at A&M schedule. Like they got they got South Carolina, New Mexico State, Auburn, and then that, like I said, that Texas A&M game that could be decide kind of who makes the playoffs and everything else.
Yeah, or at least who gets to the SEC title game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. If they both win out up until that game, then yeah, they could be battling for an opportunity at the SEC title game and a chance to be in the playoff.
Yeah, so there is no like East-West, right, in the ACC anymore, or SEC. It's just the top two teams. Right now in the conference, A&M is 5-0, Georgia's 4-1, Texas 3-1, Tennessee's 3-1, LSU's 3-1. So like two of those teams. Now we know Texas and Alabama play, or Texas and Texas A&M play. So that, you know what I mean, that they would have the tiebreaker now. Georgia owns the tiebreaker over Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's next. Man, they got the tougher route if you think about it. They got Ole Miss, who's 6-2. They got Tennessee in the next 2 weeks. So like,
right.
So you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, so a couple of these teams could wind up with an extra loss before they get to the end of it. That's awesome, bro. Good for you, man.
Hey, Carlos, do you think that they could make it to the SEC championship game and beat Texas? Since that game is said Texas A&M, and what's their chances of winning being the surprise team out of all these teams, right? Like Texas, you got Georgia, and then what if it's Texas A&M that wins this whole damn SEC?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, that's one thing about these SEC teams is, obviously they have extremely good talent on each one of these rosters. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Texas A&M. You know what I'm saying? They play good defense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Texas was blowing out some teams, the first several weeks of the season. Reality hit them when they played Georgia. And then again, you know what I'm saying? They won this week, but, in a close game against Vanderbilt. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens going down the stretch here. I didn't realize that they got rid of the East-West in the SEC, and now it's just, the top two teams or whatever. So it's going to be interesting to see. Florida, for as down of a season as Florida's having, they've played well the last several weeks. You mentioned Kentucky. Kentucky always comes to play. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, man. But yeah, if Texas and Texas A&M handle business going into that last week, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they meet up there. That'll be the Saturday night 8:00 game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. On CBS or ABC or whatever. So that'll be fun.
So Carlos is saying that defense was awesome last night. They've made the adjustments. I think they'll go with Marcel Reed going forward or until it stops working. But he electrified the offense.
Absolutely, he did.
And they got a chance. So I was looking at we mentioned that Tennessee Georgia game is going to be huge too, because one of those two teams have a loss. Both of those teams, Tennessee's only given up 81 points against for the year. So like their defense has been really good for Tennessee. So it's going to be interesting down the stretch here for this SEC team, for these SEC teams, and really for the whole 12 teams. Remember the top 5. We got to win your or I don't know if you win your conference or I don't fucking know. I just ready for.
I think the top the 5 conference champs like are automatically
first round bye, and then there's
right.
Somebody told me yesterday like the 12th team is like a mid-major type team, like
it's like almost like getting a bid or whatever in the NCAA, the basketball tournament or whatever. So I honestly would have to look into exactly how the playoff thing is going to work or whatever. But it's gonna be fun that there's actually a tournament at the end. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's probably going to be, 6 SEC teams, 6 out of the 12 are going to be SEC teams, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You have an opportunity in that playoff structure to actually give your, to do it out on the field and see if you can get it done. So I'm looking forward to it, man. We're getting down to the last few weeks of the the college football season as far as the regular season. So it's fun, man. You know what I'm saying? People are starting to separate themselves.
Yeah, Oregon right now does look like the best team in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at their schedule. I don't see why they wouldn't walk through any of the rest of their schedule real quick, undefeated. Like they got Michigan, who's 5-3, Maryland at home. They got to go to Wisconsin, who's 5-3, and then they play to Washington, who's 4-4 at home too. Like I would think that they probably should walk through the season undefeated.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, one thing about Oregon too, and all these teams that you're talking about, and Carlos just mentioned it from Just Fans, is defense. You know what I'm saying? All of these top teams, like they play stellar defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you play top-notch defense and then you have that playmaker at quarterback or whatever on offense to where he can make those plays, which is the thing that gives me some hope with the Hurricane. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna front. Miami's defense is nowhere on the level of some of these SEC schools. You know what I'm saying? Like they've got some good defensive players, but our secondary is very young. So our defense is nowhere near as close to being as good as some of these SEC teams, but we have Cam Ward as our quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And he makes the right play. He's a great player offensively. So it's going to be interesting to see down the stretch, man. But I'm excited for the first year of having the 12-team playoff. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. A lot of excitement.
I do too. Let's look at some NFL real quick before we get into our reviews and stuff for the week. What game you looking at week 8 here? We had the Rams. I mean, the Rams. We talked about it on Thursday. Like, hey man, you win this game, like you're the whole season's still in front of you. We can get rid of the Cooper Kupp trade talk. They win 30-20. I know that the stupid. The bad penalty, right? But like, here's what somebody said. How can you expect? I get the penalty, but it's not like that game really cost. Like that penalty, it sucked because it was like right there in the end zone, a safety, cost a safety or whatever for the face mask, right? And the rest really looking at it. But like, how are we suspect that a team that hasn't scored, but 6 points all the whole second half to drive 80 yards to score a touchdown? When they haven't done it in one half. So that game, like, you know what I mean? It like the penalty sucks. They didn't call it. You would have liked to see it, but chances are I still think I probably would have favored the Rams at that point in the game to still kind of close it out. But the whole season's here in front of the Rams now that they're fully healthy. That was kind of my takeaways. Like in that AFC West, I've said like it's wide open. So why not the Rams, like fully healthy Stafford, Kupp, and Nakua and Kyron? Like, hey man, like if that defense can just hold itself together, a young defense, they got a chance. What game are you? If you got some thoughts on Thursday night's game, go ahead and lay them out. And then what game you tuning in today?
Yeah, just real quick on Thursday is shit. I wish I would have known Puka and Kupp were playing. I would have switched my pick there. I would have taken the Rams over the Vikings. The one thing I will say on that play is the safety made it a 2-possession game. So it essentially sealed the game and didn't give Minnesota the opportunity, not to say that they were going to be able to drive down the field 80 yards, like you said, when they hadn't shown it in the second half. But that completely sealed the game for the Rams, making it a 2-possession game. And again, how do you miss that call, ref? You're literally looking right at the court. That's your job, is to watch the quarterback, and you didn't see his neck. He almost pulled an exorcist. You know what I'm saying? Right there. So how do you miss that? But no, I'm with you on the Rams in that NFC West. I think with San Francisco having their issues, I mean, Arizona, who's really Arizona? Let me not talk too much shit about Arizona. They'll probably beat the shit out of my Dolphins today. But Arizona, Seattle's, I think the only one over 500. And I mean, Geno Smith, how much do you really worry about Seattle? So the Rams, I mean, if I would put my money on the Rams if they can keep it together, like you said, defensively, and these guys stay healthy on offense. You got Stafford, you got Cooper Kupp, Puka Nakua, you got the Williams kid at running back. I like the Rams' chances going forward. As far as today's slate, they're not the best, to be quite honest. Philly, Cincinnati, just to see if Cincinnati's going to, be able to actually make a little bit of a run here. Philly has been playing well. Cincinnati, I think they're 2-4. So they really need this game bad. We talked about I mentioned the San Francisco 49ers and not being that great. They're going up against Allen's Dallas Cowboys tonight. The Raiders are probably going to get absolutely destroyed by the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? So I think
D-Hop making his debut,
making his debut. Plus, there's that whole drama where the Raiders were talking shit about Patrick Mahomes with the whole Kermit the Frog doll and stuff like that, which was the stupidest thing in mankind. That Bears Commanders game, man, I don't know what's gonna happen with Jay. I don't know if he's been ruled out. I don't think he should play. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
really situation, a game time situation. Like he didn't practice all week, but he went through the walkthroughs, all week. But it's just like, man, he gets one hit or two hits, or he tries to, you know what I mean? We know he's mobile, likes to get out of the pocket.
Right.
It sucks because that game was going to be a fun one to watch. These two young up and comers, they even flexed from a noon game to a 3:30 game, Central Time again. So the late slate. It was just like, man, that would have been a fun one to kind of watch.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I'm looking at. There's really not like a, you know what I mean, where you're like, the Colts Texans maybe a little bit, but
the Texans the Texans should beat down on the Colts, man. To be completely honest, the Colts are not a very good team. I know they got JT back, but they're not a very good football team. Houston needs to get it rolling. You know what I'm saying? They've been winning games, but they've been
close. I feel like
so they got to get it going.
They play up to the competition and they play down to their competition.
Absolutely.
Much like a game that I'm kind of interested in is Bengals Eagles.
Right.
The Bengals 3-4. They kind of need to get to 4-4 here at the halfway mark. Yep. And if the Eagles win, then you're 5-2. And really, then at that point in time, you're 3 games above 500, and you're starting to cook. Especially if the Commanders lose today, then you're in first place, and people probably can say the firing Nick Sirianni stuff could kind of calm down. I don't ever feel like. I think that's outside noise, not inside noise. You hear a lot of his players and coaches talk; they really like him,
right?
Even though I think the outside world thinks he might be an idiot, or maybe not just an idiot, just like he's just. Like this guy's a douchebag, you know what I mean?
He's definitely got D-bag qualities in him for sure. But no, the team seems to like him or whatever. So we'll see. I mean, that should be an interesting one there. I think Philly wins that game, to be completely honest. Bills going to Seattle should be an interesting one as an AFC East fan. I want to see what happens there. But no, I think the main one, again, I'm with you with the whole Commanders Bears. I don't think they should play the kid if he's got bruised ribs. Those can get worse. He's gonna feel it with every hit. Now, if you trust that he'll protect himself and get rid of the ball and stuff like that, then maybe. But again, Washington has put themselves in a position where if you keep this kid healthy, you never know what could happen in the NFC. So if he has to miss a game to make sure that he's good to go down the stretch, then I would sit him out. But if you think he can protect himself and be careful and get rid of the ball when he needs to avoid any unnecessary hits, obviously they're not going to run any quarterback running plays for him, with bruised ribs. But I'm with you, man.
We hope we don't, but he's also going to get out the pocket and throw. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Just be smart. Just be smart.
I gotta do whatever I got to do to win. Like, I'm not worried about my ribs right now.
But you can't. Then if that's the case, then I sit him. Then I don't even let him play. That's when you got to protect him from himself. If he could be smart enough and savvy enough to know, okay, there's no play here. Let me get rid of the ball to avoid any unnecessary contact. That's the way his mentality has to be. Now, if he's just that type to where when I'm out on the field, I just don't think that way. All right, bro, then you need to sit the game. You know what I'm saying? We're not
That's the most athletes. 99.9 athletes think that.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you got to protect the man from himself. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really what the coaches do.
Absolutely. And then, of course, that Monday night game is hot garbage, Pittsburgh and Giants. So, there's a couple games on today. Saying John's here, so I'll watch the Dolphin game with John because he's here. Otherwise, I'd be watching Red Zone like a motherfucker. I ain't even going to front, bro. So.
The game I'm actually intrigued by is that I called it on Thursday night, the 1990 special Cowboys 49ers, like on Sunday night. Like, you look at their records, like both teams got to have it. You know what I mean? Like the Cowboys they can't afford to go, 3-4 if they lose, and then the 49ers, if they lose, they'd be 3-5. Right. And obviously they're riddled with injuries. It's just like, man, like they got to have it. A fun one would have been the Falcons Bucks, but the Bucks, man, losing your two best receivers, it puts a damper on it on the matchup. Real quick, because before we get into the our reviews and stuff, I don't know if did you see this? Mike Shanahan was on some sort of podcast, and he said, like, after RG3's rookie year, he begged Dan Snyder to trade him. Trade him. Like, he's not what we think. We know he's not. Like, they knew RG3 wasn't going to be the dude, and he's like, we start Kirk Cousins. Let's get all our draft picks back. Like, we can trade him because he's rookie of the year, and everybody will think he's great, and we can get all. Because remember, they traded the farm for him. For the Rams,
to move up, right?
To move up, and like he's like, let's get all our picks back, like let's trade them. And Dan Snyder said no.
Well, I mean, that's one of those situations where I'm saying the owner is gonna make decisions like that. I mean, it sounds like something Dan Snyder would do, but I understand at the same time, you're the same people that traded up to get him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now I get it. You're telling me after having watched him for a whole season that, saying you don't think he's the guy, and the kid you drafted in the 4th round is just going to be better. For somebody who doesn't know football and is an owner, that would be kind of hard to like digest. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, which one was it? You know what I'm saying? Like you traded all this shit to get up there. Now you're trying to say trade them back. But that's why as an owner, you should, if you hire the right people, you trust them to do the right thing, and just imagine what Washington could have gotten for him after that rookie season. They could have gotten a hell of a bunch of draft picks.
He did tear the ACL, but there would have been a lot of teams lined up.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. There would have been a lot of teams jumping up to trade for him. So that's an interesting take right there. So that would have been crazy had that happened, but it is what it is. I think Washington is finally heading in the right direction now. They definitely made the right decision, taking Daniels with the number 2 pick this year. So, but that's an interesting story there, man.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously it's like, well, he wasn't wrong at the end of the day. Like one guy is still playing, one guy is not, and it's just like, well, why didn't you guys? If also at the same time, why didn't you guys know that when you took him at 2? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, because that's the thing is that you have them in for workouts and you see him a little bit.
I guess right. Once you get him in the building, that's
once you get him in the building and you seeing him practice every day, that's when you really know. You know what I'm saying? And the other players are gonna let you know, this kid can't play. You know what I'm saying? So and I mean, it's not that he couldn't play. You know what I'm saying? He was a good player. He just wasn't a number 1 or number 2 pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't sustainable. The style that he played or whatever. So, but again, a good, personnel guy like Mike Shanahan knew, hey, this kid from Michigan State in the 4th round, I'm gonna go ahead and take him just in case. And then boom, look, you get draft Kirk Cousins, and there you go. So good job on them.
It'll be interesting. Let's go ahead. We'll get into well, I guess it would help if I never did put at the bottom here.
They know who we are, man.
Yeah, amen to that. We get into your brief summary. So to be honest, I have not even watched. I loved the first Venom, but I've not ever found time to watch Venom 2, Carnage. I need to watch that one. But you said you went and watched Venom 3.
Yeah, we saw Venom 3, The Last Dance last night, and it was okay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to be completely honest, the Venom movies have gone downhill from the first one. The first one was the best one out of the 3. Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, was pretty good. This one was it introduced, spoiler, it introduced Null, who's like the creator of the symbiotes and all that or whatever. So and he's like a mega villain. So we'll see if that leads to anything, but you never know with Sony. they showed a bunch of other, you know what I'm saying, symbiotes that they had, you know what I'm saying, locked up by the government or whatever. So you get to see there's a nice scene at the end where like there's 5 of them fighting these creatures from the planet that they're from or whatever. But it was like 10 minutes. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So that battle should have been stretched out more, and it would have been a lot more entertaining. So it just it ends kind of yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it could have been a little bit better. I mean, I love the Venom character, and again, the first one was awesome.
First of all, Tom Hardy's one of the best actors going. Like,
yeah, he's great. And then the you know what I'm saying, like the interaction between him and Venom. You know, I know he's talking to him in his head, but obviously we get to hear all that or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was the story was okay. They could have done better with the other ones that were in it, you know what I'm saying, especially because they made a big deal about the cop who got a little bit of the Venom shit in him, and then 2 seconds after he gets out of this, like where they got him locked up and he gets killed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what the hell was all, you know what I'm saying? Like there was such a build up for that character for him to die like 5 minutes into, like 2 minutes into the fight. So it was very blah. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. We'll see what happens. If you know what I'm saying. But this again, Sony. It's not a surprise for a Sony Marvel movie to be kind of half-assed. I had good, high expectations because it is Venom, and Venom has been the only thing they've done well, because Morbius and all the other shit, Madam Web, has been complete trash.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was entertaining, but it just didn't hit right. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. And like I said, it's gotten worse from top. The first Venom was awesome. The second one was okay. This one was So if you've seen the first 2, you might as well just finish it off. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't got like an AMC card where it's basically free to go, you can just wait for that shit to come out on streaming and watch it at home.
All right. Real quick, so I told you. First of all, have you watched the Starting 5 on Netflix? The NBA
I'm not watching that shit.
Man, it's pretty good. So, like, I know you're an Anthony Edwards fan. You're Anthony. You're an Anthony.
I like Ant.
Like that makes you.
I like Ant's game. Ant's game. Some of the shit he says is like, wait, what?
This is like a documentary, and it follows like him, LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, Sabonis from the Kings.
Right.
I feel like Jason Tatum all last season, right?
Right.
Man, it makes you love Ant even more because he is talking more shit, talks a little bit more of his mindset. And speaking of him, I don't know if you caught any of this shit this past week. He's saying like, "Hey man, I'm gonna go play football. I could tackle Derrick Henry. Like we the same guy. I just don't lift like that. I mean, come on, Ant. Like,
I
respect, but
I mean, I love the confidence in the kid.
Yeah.
I love that he has that mentality that he just wants to destroy you on the court. Like I said, I love that about him. Some of the shit he say, you can tell that he's a young kid and don't, you know what I'm saying? I saw the little clip of that with Justin Jefferson or whatever, where he talks about, if he was a football player, he'd be a middle linebacker. And, he made the comment of, I don't even lift, and you know, saying whatever. So if he lifted, he would look like them or whatever. That don't mean shit, bro. There's been plenty of jacked up guys that have tried to play football, and you can be big and strong. That don't mean that you're going to be able to take on a Derrick Henry or somebody in that hole or take that hit. Derrick Henry has put legit football players into making some serious business decisions, and you talking about you're going to come in there and hit him. But I mean, I love the confidence in the kid. But I'm not watching that shit. I can't. I'm waiting for to be able to watch basketball once all the drama and bullshit of LeBron James is out the fucking league, because he is just like, I'm so fucking sick of him. Like this is my last dump before we get into your review and our top 5 scary movies. Is the whole Bronny James shit? Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I understand the nepotism. Hey, props to you for getting your son drafted or whatever, but don't make it seem like this kid earned that shit and that's why he was there.
And,
You know what I'm saying?
and told him you ain't even got a shower after the game.
Right, you know what I'm saying, and then you again, it was all manufactured. There was nothing organic about it. It's not like the kid.
That's the difference between Griffey, right?
Yes,
Griffey
and
Senior,
then
it was
again,
organic. He earned his. I mean,
again,
better than his
but
father.
but
And then Griffey Senior was a good baseball player. But
exactly,
you knew it was organic, right? It wasn't
right,
like
right.
LeBron, like Griffey
It
was like
wasn't
draft my son.
scripted. This was
Yeah,
fucking scripted.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He
Might
wanted
as
to
well
play
did
with.
a
He wanted to play
script
with
out of
his.
WWE. You
Right.
know what
He
I mean?
wanted to play with his son, so he made sure that the organization he played with drafted his son and then gave him a guaranteed 4-year contract, which no second round pick has ever gotten. You know what I'm saying? And then you put him, and then just because you're a rookie doesn't mean you're guaranteed to play in the game, especially game one, and you bring him in at the same time with his dad. Again, it was just for the moment so that he can say, oh, I did this. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's a fucking manufactured thing, just like his whole GOAT debate is a fucking manufactured thing by LeBron James, Clutch Sports, and the fucking media, bro. Because Clutch Sports runs the damn NBA media, just so you know. All those ass clowns up there that are saying, oh, LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, all of them are getting paid by Clutch Sports. There's a reason why they're saying that. It's not because it's actually true. It's because they're getting paid to say
or that they
shit.
actually believe it.
Right, or that they actually believe it. It's just they getting paid, so they have to say what they're supposed to say, or those checks don't keep coming.
They did say that Bronny is going to, after this 5-game road trip,
he's going to the G League. Exactly.
Where he should have been.
Where he should have been from jump. Actually, he should have stood his ass at USC and continued to develop his game, because all they're going to do is, you don't think motherfuckers is going to go at him in the G League?
Yeah.
He's got guaranteed money, and those guys over there are playing for their lives. They're going to be going at him, so it could come out worse. You know what I'm saying? It could really get exposed that he ain't shit in the G League. So we'll see what happens. But that shit was just so manufactured and just like, oh, it's it's history, but it's fake history because you made it happen. It didn't happen because the kid was worthy of it.
Yeah.
So you're right. Miss me with all that bullshit, bro.
Yeah. And real quick, I told you too. I watched the, I don't remember what it's called. It's on Netflix. It's the Boston Red Sox jersey. Their documentary about the 3-game sweep of the Yankees. It's pretty good. I had totally forgot. Like, obviously, it's been 20 some odd years at this point in time, or 21 years, I guess, right?
Yeah, it hasn't been long enough, but go ahead.
I had forgot that A-Rod was supposed to be a Red Sox. I had forgot that they had worked out that trade. He was going to go to Boston. They were going to trade, I think, him and Nomar and Manny to Texas. But like,
I don't know. I don't know if Manny was going to be in it, but
yeah. I think in the documentary, I think they talked about Manny being traded because like they didn't,
if that shit would have happened and Manny would have been traded from Boston, they never win, bro. They never win.
So they were gonna. That trade almost happened, but then the MLB PA. They didn't allow like the tinkering of A-Rod's contract. Or
because he wanted to adjust his contract. He was willing to take less to go to Boston, and the NFL Players Association said no because they're a bunch of greedy fucks, and they didn't want that look. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want other players to actually be willing to give up some money to go play for the team they want to play for. God forbid. So. But no, I think if that trade happens and he goes to Boston and they lose Manny, because I didn't know that Manny was going to be going the other way.
I'm pretty sure it was no more because like they had to get Manny because of the money to like get,
maybe okay. That sounds about right. I don't think they win a title with A-Rod without Manny, bro.
Yeah, and then so it was just interesting. I was like, shit, man, I had forgot that A-Rod, got Chris Paul. Really, Chris Paul was supposed to go to the Lakers, like, and the NBA said no. Like I forgot that like he got Chris Paul really. So it was it's interesting. So it's just funny, like you forget about shit and then
I remember that shit clearly because I remember when I heard that shit, I was like, damn, this motherfucker going to Boston, you know what I'm saying? Well,
and then you guys pick from like day one of spring,
and then we wound up getting him, and then there's all this excitement about A-Rod coming to, you know what I'm saying? I got caught up in the hype because he at the time he was the best.
He was one of the best players in
yeah, he was
baseball.
one of the best players. So it's like, all right, cool. We just added one of the best players to our team.
And he's playing third. Yeah.
Right. And he was willing to play third. I didn't realize that, you know what I'm saying, he had all that drama that he was going to be bringing, and he was going to be all jealous of Derek Jeter and all that bullshit and all the steroids and all that shit. I didn't know all that shit was happening or whatever. But
nobody did.
Right.
Did.
You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Like I said, I remember that whole shit. I don't need to watch that fucking biography, bro. That shit still haunts me to this day, bro.
Yeah, it's a good docu. I just had forgot about a lot of it.
I'm with you, Los. Like, I completely agree about it. Like I said, the whole shit is just, and again, like, we could have a whole fucking episode about the NBA and how trash it is, and how a big majority of these players are very athletic but cannot play basketball for their fucking lives. That's the truth. So
yeah, he's saying that there's 100 players who have been paid, and end up in the Europe, and
just like, again, sorry for the tangent, but like TNT, when they were talking about their top 5 players, you gonna tell me Kenny Smith, and I had respect for Kenny Smith, but you're gonna tell me that LeBron James is the number 2 player in the fucking league right now? He's not even the best player on his team. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna tell me he's the number 2 player in the fucking league? Like,
if you're talking about right now. Like,
right now,
you know what I mean?
Right now, he's not. Right now, I'm not taking him. I'm not taking him over Joker. I'm not taking him over Luka. I'm not taking him over Giannis. I'm not taking him over Anthony Davis. I'm not taking him over Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe Jason Tatum. I would take a fucking 30-something-year-old Jimmy Butler right now before I took LeBron James.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know.
I would,
two
bro.
different style of place.
Right. And I would want the tougher one that's not going to fold, you know what I'm saying, against the Dallas Mavericks and only give me 10 points of a finals, you know what I'm saying, game. So I'm just saying, he's not a top 5 player. He's barely a top 10. I don't even think he's top 10 in the league, honestly.
Yeah, LeBron is bottom 10 or more today. Like, if you're doing the top 10, he's 10 or less. Yeah.
Yes, he's 10 to 15. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and this whole, like, bro, he plays no defense. He doesn't get back. He cherry picks, and 85% of his scoring is layups or dunks. You know what I'm saying? He has one of the worst field goal percentages ever from 5 feet and out. And you're gonna talk about he's the greatest ever? Nah, dude, we can have a whole fucking show on LeBron James and his bullshit, bro. But to say that he's the second best player in the fucking league right now, you're fucking smoking some shit. Again, that's just for TV, for clicks, because, you know, Kenny's probably on the Clutch Sports payroll too.
Yeah, Shaq and Chuck did not have him in their top 5.
Right, so and a lot of it too is European hate. Like, they hate the fact that the top players in the NBA right now are European. They're not American-born players. That's why they're trying so hard to push Anthony Edwards onto everybody. And he's a great talent, but he needs to stay in that lap. Maybe he does need to lift a couple weights or whatever, and, you know what I'm saying, make sure that he stays strong or whatever. But no, I'm not. As you can see, I'm not the biggest NBA fan. I mean, I enjoy it when it comes to playoff time or whatever, but there's too many non-shooters that are doing nothing but shooting 3-pointers nowadays.
Yeah. Real quick, I did an album review. He's kind of an unknown artist. He's a YouTube guy, but for some reason, so I follow him on YouTube. He covers a lot of rap videos and breaks down things. But he put out his own new album, Crypt, The Graveyard Shift. It was okay. Not great, but for like an unknown artist, I thought it was pretty decent. He had some good beats in there and things like that as far as like a rap artist. Man, it's getting hard to review these albums because some of the music put out today is not great. And it's artists I've never heard of or don't really want to listen to, but I decided to peep his and give it an opportunity. It was, okay.
Right.
Not good.
Well, let me know when you hit a wall with the ones you want to review, and then I'll give you throwback ones that you probably haven't listened to entirely. So that way you can kind of listen to those, and then you can give us your review on, you know what I'm saying, on classic albums.
Yeah, hit me up. So
Absolutely.
sometimes I will go back if it's like a band I like,
Yeah.
and I will listen to like, oh man, it's like, so for instance, I grew up in the NU metal, right? Like Korn,
Mhm.
Limp Bizkit, like when that was
Yes.
like popping off,
Yes.
like and Limp Bizkit 20 years ago put out Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water album.
Mhm.
It's over like 20 years ago, and I was like, holy shit, man, this album still maybe it'll
Yes.
always speak to me because I'm a nostalgia motherfucker too, so
Right.
like I'm
No,
like, oh man,
but
these,
classic albums
like this fucking album still fucking,
they last forever, bro.
yeah,
You
this
know what I'm
album's still
saying?
fucking good to me. Now to
Mhm.
most people it may not be good, but it's a little sentimental, but also like when you're in the gym it just has that right
Right.
riff to it, so
Right.
I'll
Right.
give that. But yeah, yeah, send me some classic ones that I may have not heard
Absolutely, and
all
you know what I'm saying, fellas, in the you know what I'm saying, in the comments, bro, throw out some suggestions for my
yeah.
boy. You know what I'm saying, for my boy to listen
Witness,
to
give me
my boy.
something to break because I feel like breaking your fucking face tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Shit. Let's get into our top five. It is Thursday is Halloween, so none other
Mhm.
less we got to do our top five best horror films. Johnny, we'll start with you. What's your number five?
All right, my number five, and this was a hard one. You know what I'm saying? So I got like 13 movies that I got written down here, but I'm gonna try to break it down to five. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go with Jaws as my number five. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people be like, "Oh, Jaws, it's old and it looks fake." I saw this movie when I was like 7, and I shouldn't have been watching that shit when I was 7 because to this day I don't like the water. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for real?
Yeah, bro. Like I'm good with the ocean. Like obviously being a dad, I would go in there with the kids or whatever because you know what I'm saying. That's what you got to do when you're a dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nah, bro.
We all got to do. Hey, Dan, we all got to do shit we don't want to
Yeah,
do.
we all gotta do
Yeah.
shit we don't want
Yeah.
to do, even though you're fucking tripping there and everything that touches your leg, you're paranoid that you'll say you're gonna get eaten and shit. But yeah, so Jaws fucked me up, left me scarred for life. Jaws is number five. Like I said, I still don't like the ocean. If I'm going swimming, I'm going swimming in a fucking pool.
Now I get it. So like I don't know, like Jaws, like it's if you look up like the top 10 horror movies, Jaws is
Mhm.
always one. Maybe I just don't view it as like a horror movie. I just view it as like
Yeah,
a good movie. You know what
right,
I mean?
right.
Like,
No, I hear
but
you. That's why I have it at five. You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? I just had to throw it in just for traumatic
No,
effect. That
it
traumatized me. Like I said,
yeah, no,
I still don't like the one. I'd love to be out there jet skiing. And hell no, bro. I ain't going jet. Fuck that, dude. Especially in
yeah.
Florida. Like you see some of the shots that the news reports take where you see sharks
This year's
swimming
been
right.
bad down.
Yeah, they
This
be
year's
swimming
been,
right by where the people are swimming. The
yeah,
sharks. Nah, I'm good, yo. I'm good.
yeah. You know, I read a fact. Here's a fun fact. Did you know sharks don't even like to bite humans? They think it's fish food. They
Yes.
bite you, and
That's
then
what
they're
I'm saying.
like, "Oh,
They're biting just to see what the fuck you are.
yeah." And then,
And
"Oh, you ain't fucking."
meanwhile, you've been
You ain't,
gutted or
yeah,
you lost a
oh,
limb. You
yeah.
know what I'm
You ain't
saying?
even fucking fish. And then
Right.
they fucking
Yeah.
spit you fucking out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No,
there's some
I'm
fucking,
straight.
there is some
I don't
fucking
need to be
shark
just
dogs
checked on.
like you can walk through. You can literally walk through. That's how big some fucking shark jaws are.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. No,
It's
I'm good.
insane. Yeah.
Now
No.
I love Shark Week and watching
Yeah.
that shit on TV, but nah, getting in the water, I'm straight, bro. I'm good.
Yeah. And I mean, sharks are fucking. It's first of all, I don't really like. I mean, Gilbert Arenas said it best. He's like, they ain't shark attacks. He's like, motherfucker, you in their house. He's like, it'd be different if
Exactly.
a shark came to your house to
Right.
attack you. I mean, that's
Right.
true. 1,001%. You ain't get shark. You ain't get attacked by a shark. You
Right.
decided you was gonna go fuck
Right.
around with the
Yeah.
sharks. You know?
You was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Yeah. My number five is The Conjuring. Just like like
Yeah. Those are
all
good.
that,
Those are
like, you
good.
know what I mean? Like and that whole series, like, but it all starts with like The Conjuring and all that shit's like based off a true story.
Yep,
So
yep.
I got The Conjuring as my number five. What's
Yeah,
your
no,
number?
those are all good. I like those. My number four, this one here isn't the classic horror movie, but this one here, like it hit me because it's something that could unfortunately happen. My number four
Yeah.
is The Strangers. And
That's my number four too.
And I'm talking about the one with oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on this girl from Armageddon. It's sad.
Oh yeah, Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler. I'm talking about that
Yeah,
one with Liv Tyler. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. The
That
original. Yeah.
shit like
Why
fucked
are
me
you
up.
doing this? Because you're home.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm
Like, you know
home.
what I'm saying? Right. Like you couldn't have gone to the neighbor's house. You know what I'm saying? Like really, you had to come to this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
And
But
that's based on a true story too.
yes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. So that shit was creepy and scary, whatever. And like shit like that like can happen. It is, you know what I'm saying? Those tend to like fuck with me a little bit more because home invasion is like, you know what I'm saying? Is
yeah,
something that can happen to anybody. So yeah, that strange. I know they did some remakes recently. I don't
yeah.
know. I
They
haven't
had,
even gotten to see it yet, but that first strangers, that was some shit, yeah. But yes,
yeah.
the
They
little
got the
girl
mask
saying because
on.
you were home, like that was
Yeah,
fucked up.
yeah. You're just like fuck. You're like shit. I'm home
Right.
by myself, right, motherfucker?
Right. And that's the shit.
Let
And the
me
shit
get
is
to this.
I saw it with my wife at her parents' house, and they live out in the fucking in the boonies, bro. So there's nothing but
Yeah,
like trees and shit. It's dark as fuck. I was like, why are we watching this shit out here, bro?
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
because you're home. Hey, no,
Right.
no.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. That was my number 4 too. I had strangers written down at 4 for that very fucking reason. Because you're like, maybe I don't want to be home by myself after I watch
Right.
like yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right, so my number 3 then, I'm kind of mashing all the slasher ones together, honestly, but this one like scared me when I first saw it. My number 3 is the original Nightmare on Elm Street. The fact
Okay.
of you say Freddy
Yeah,
Krueger
Freddy.
with the you can't even go to sleep and be safe. You know, so you got to worry about him catching you in your dreams and shit. The whole stuff with Tina when he's dragging her, you know, saying her body in the body bag and stuff like that, and then when he had the stretched out arms and stuff. Like that original Nightmare on Elm Street, before he started getting funny and all that crap, and
Yeah,
then the later that original Nightmare on Elm Street was spooky as fuck when his claw comes up in the bathtub when she's, you know what I'm saying, taking a
yeah.
bath. Yeah, that first one scared me. So I got Nightmare on Elm
On
Street.
you, Freddy's coming
Yeah,
for you. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Nah, I'm cool. My number 3 is Exorcist.
yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Just the whole
Yeah.
fucking demon shit. Like anything
Mhm.
like that is like that. Me and my wife don't even really can't even watch like that, like paranormal type shit because
Mhm.
she believes in all that shit is
Yeah, yeah.
like that shit fucking they come for you know. So yeah, I got The Exorcist at number 3.
Yeah, that's actually, you know, saying like I was debating on that one for my number 2. But since you mentioned it, I'm gonna, like I said, I got like 13 movies written down here. So but shit like that, demonic possession and stuff like that, like shit
Yeah,
like that fucks with me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because you know what I'm saying, like I'm not the most spiritual person, you say, as far as like religious person, or whatever, but I believe in a lot of that stuff. So the
yeah,
Exorcist messed me up. Um my number 2, you know what I'm saying? I'm going with this one here. Uh, I'm gonna go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
okay,
There was like some true story to that too. I don't know if it was the
yeah,
extreme of that or whatever, but that whole cannibalism stuff and Leatherface with the chainsaw and stuff like that. And at the end of the movie, when the girl gets away and homeboy's just like dancing around on the street with the chainsaw was like some freaky shit. But again, at the time when I saw that movie, it was scary as hell. Now I know they've done a bunch of remakes. Watch the
yeah,
original Texas Chainsaw Massacre if you haven't seen it. That's a really good one. The Exorcism of Emily Rose is really good with. But yeah, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know I'm going with a lot of older classic ones here, but again, those to me are horror movies that are in my top list.
yeah. My number 2 movie, I got It. Like
No,
like I like both the original and the remake. I didn't like It
yeah,
Chapter 2, but I liked It the original. You know what I mean? There is that just that iconic scene where homeboy's chasing that little thing down, and there's
yeah,
Pennywise in the damn fucking sewer.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You watch that shit as a kid, you're just like, and even as an adult with the remake, the new one was fucking just kind of scary. Like, uh,
yeah,
when they were adults, I didn't really like it. Like, so like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't like the chapter 2s because they're like adults, so it's weird for me.
right.
But when you're a kid and he's chasing kids, like, there's
Yeah.
something about that, man. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. The Tim Curry one was obviously a classic.
Yeah.
I like what Bill Skarsgård did with
they're
Pennywise
making
and the new ones.
they're making a prequel.
A prequel, yeah, where it's about the town,
Yeah.
or whatever, and the history of it or whatever. Which I'm looking forward to that. That's probably going to be good.
Me too. Me too.
But yeah, no, but I love those It movies. Like I said, it's one of the 13 that I have written down here, bro. Like I said, it was hard to, you know what I'm saying? See, like, all right, so I'm just gonna go to my number one, and again, you're making me kind of like think about it again because it's just a great movie. It's not just a good horror movie, but it's a great movie. But I'm gonna say the first Saw.
Shit! Yeah.
Like that whole Saw series was phenomenal, and I had no desire to watch these at all. I'm not big on like torture movies. Like I don't need to see 100 different ways that I could be tortured and killed. You know what I'm saying? Like hospital and shit like that. I'm good. I don't need to see that shit. But Saw, you know what I'm saying? The actual story behind it and how they connected all the movies was just phenomenal. And then at the end for him to get up and he was in the room the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, like I said, it was a great movie, period. Not the scariest, like it scared me or whatever, but just for being in the horror genre, it's one of the best movies that I've seen. So I'll go with Saw as my number one.
Yeah, my number one is The Shining with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yo, like first you got the two little twins in the motherfucking, you know, he's riding his little big wheel. And then he turns his fucking you got the twin sisters and
yep. That whole shit was freaky, bro. That whole shit was freaky. And my wife is a big reader, so she read she of course read the book, and she talks about how the book is crazy too, or whatever. But I mean, there's so many of them, bro. Like I said, a bunch of other, like the Blair Witch. If you're saying that shit freaked me out the first time I saw that, the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
The original Scream was a good one. You know what I'm saying? Again, there's OGs. Like I said, I got a couple OGs on my list with Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw. Obviously, the first Halloween. Even though I like what Rob Zombie did with his Halloween. The last few,
The first one was good. The first one with Rob Zombie was good. I wasn't a fan of the second one,
right?
But the first one was good. Yeah, even like his House of Thousand Corpses and
that was some crazy shit. Yeah. That was some funky shit. But see, like Signs. I know Signs is considered a horror movie. Like that could be one of my favorite movies. Period. Signs. I love Signs.
I can't fuck with Signs.
You don't like Signs?
I like The Sixth Sense. That shit was good.
That was really good. Nah, Signs is really good. The Ring was another one that was scary as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Especially at the end when Homegirl comes out the TV at Homeboy, you think it's over. You think it's over, and then she comes out the damn screen. Like that shit was crazy, bro. But like I said, Saw, that very first one, the just movie wise, it was a great movie, and then the fact that it's part of the horror genre, I'll go with Saw, man. Like I said, I wound up. Like I said, I had no desire to watch it. Wifey got me to watch the first one. I wound up going to Walmart and buying like all 7 of them bitches. and we just had a marathon and watched like the whole Saw shit. I know towards the end they've come up with some like kind of ones towards the end here, but those first 6 or 7 were just great writing and storytelling. It was good.
Yeah, like I said, my number one is The Shining. I don't know, maybe
that's an OG, bro. That's an OG classic right there, bro.
And the dude was, Jack Nicholson, like an alcoholic father, and my dad was an alcoholic father. So, like, I'm like, shit, this is relatable, motherfucker. I just don't got them powers talking to me. I need my
right. Yeah, as long as Dad don't talk about, hey, we're gonna go to this hotel out in the mountains.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good. See, like Alien 2, it's one of my favorite
we talked
movies.
About it. Alien.
To me, Alien was scarier than Aliens. You know what I'm saying? But Aliens to me was a better movie. It was just, it was the action and stuff like that was just great or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, The Shining was great. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you're looking for something you haven't seen, the Conjurings have been good. You mentioned it.
Annabelle,
What's
all
that?
them.
What's that
Oh,
other?
yeah.
What's that other one? I don't like
Annabelle.
dolls and shit like that, bro. Like
Yeah.
Poltergeist is another OG classic one. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't fuck with clowns and dolls and shit like that. Poltergeist did that shit to me. But yeah, no, there's plenty. Like this is the best time of year. You know what I'm saying? I love spooky season, bro. I love Halloween and scary movies and stuff like that. So this is a fun time, man.
It is, Thursday is Halloween, so we wanted to get our top 5 horror movies. John, you got anything else to dump out before we get up out of here?
Nah, man, just looking forward to hopefully some good football. Hopefully my Dolphins find a way to win a game. Yeah, the Nun. Yeah. I can't think of it now. Insidious or whatever. Those were pretty good too. Like, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a good time for horror movies. But looking forward to, like I said, so hopefully some good football. The reaction show we got tonight. And then of course check out the Dolphin Chronicles on Kendu Sports Network. Me, my boy Byron, and Alice will break down all things Miami Dolphins tomorrow night at 7:30. But man, looking forward to another fun night.
Yeah, we'll be back again 7:00 Central, 8 Eastern for our NFL Week 8 reaction show. We are halfway through the NFL season, damn near. So it's wild to think it's going by. So other than that, this has been another great weekly dump. We'll be back tonight, 8:00 Eastern, 7 Central. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you tonight. From my guy Johnny Cruz, I'm Bodkins. It's been another great episode of the Weekly Dump. See you tonight.
Peace.